Just because you can't see the path doesn't mean you're not on it. As a child, I loved to draw. In fact, if you came to visit me when I was 6 years old, you would most likely find me in my bedroom closet, drawing on the walls, or lying on the living room floor, drawing on the underside of the coffee table. One day, my aunt came to visit, and she caught me drawing on the underside of the dining room table. And she suggested something to my parents that would change my world. She said, "You should get that girl some paper." They did, and so began my love affair with drawing. It was everything to me. It was my superpower. I was able to augment my world. I could make the unseen visible. Several years later, when I was 14 years old, my aunt came to visit again. And when she saw how devoted I was to drawing, she made yet another life-changing suggestion. She said, "Maybe you should audition for the High School of Music and the Arts in New York City." The Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and the Arts still is a renowned public arts high school. You might know it as Fame from the movies and television shows made about it. I auditioned, and much to my delight, I was accepted. For my mother, though, it was bittersweet. You see, she grew up in the city, and she never, ever wanted to live there again. Yet here I was, pulling her back to this place that was loud and chaotic. A tension started to grow between us. Your life path is formed by both positive and negative forces. There are people who support you, pushing you forward, and there are those you must push against. Both forces equally shape the path. Conditions at home became unbearable. I left when I was 15. My friends at school, their parents, and one of my great uncles showed me kindness by offering a couch to sleep on or a spare bed. They helped to make sure I stayed in school. The high school itself recognized that I was at risk of falling through the cracks, so they enrolled me in an after-school program in which they gave me a nichromat film camera. They took away the manual, said I had to figure out how to use it on my own. But they taught me how to bulk load black and white film, how to process and develop it, and use a wet darkroom. And then they said, "Go out and photograph your experience." Giving me a camera at a time in my life when I was so angry and confused was one of the greatest gifts possible. It gave me a positive, creative outlet in a very dark and trying time. Sometimes I think it saved my life. The camera became my new superpower. With it, I was able to make even faster drawings, and more than that, I was able to record the experiences of myself and my friends. I was documenting history. I had no ambition. Never considered that I could or should become a professional photographer. All the helpful hints along my path eluded me for a long time. Fast forward, I'm 32 years old. I'm sitting on my couch in Berkeley, California, holding my almost 2-year-old daughter in my arms as I watch the second plane hit the World Trade Center on TV. In those moments of shock and horror, I realized that my daughter would never know those buildings in the way that I had, except for in a photograph or a film. One of the jobs that I had as a teenager to support myself was as a New York City bike messenger. I delivered parcels to the World Trade Center daily. I knew those buildings. I knew that space in a very physical way. And when they fell, it was the first time that I realized the significance of a photograph as a historic document, as proof of existence. Just like we have pictures of our ancestors. A few weeks later, the U.S. is precision bombing Afghanistan. And I'm thinking, as I sit on my couch again, watching the news, we're going the wrong way. There's so much darkness and cynicism. And I remember thinking almost out loud, what can I do to counter this? It was in that moment as if someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, it's time. We need you to get off your couch and do something. All I knew how to do was make pretty pictures. Yet the switch had been flipped, and I knew I would use my camera to document the experiences of my life, to show that there's something beautiful about this planet, about our lives, to counter the darkness. I had no plan, no grand ideas. I just had intention. That intention opened doors and created paths to places I never dreamed I would be so privileged to witness. I had no idea what climate change was as I traveled back and forth from the Arctic to the Antarctic, working as an expedition photographer on ships. Every image I've made was made possible because of the help, support, guidance, and generosity of thousands of people I met along my path, as well as those that opposed me. They have made this work possible. They've made me who I am, and I would not be who I am without them. I would not be able to do what I do. I've spent over 10 years photographing our polar regions. The images that I've made stand as a testament to how beautiful and awesome our planet is, but also just what we are losing as it melts away. Many people ask me, what can I do? How can I help? I say this: save the thing you love. Pick that one thing, whether it's the trees in your backyard, tigers, bears, butterflies, or bees. Stand up for that one thing that you love about living here on earth. You will make all the difference. I'd like to show you now some of the images that have been made possible where my path has led. I'm eternally grateful. you offer help or get involved, you may never know where that path may lead you, or even ever know if you're on it. In a way, it's its own superpower, a sometimes invisible force that can change the world. Thank you.